Hello, my friends. I hope everyone's doing well. It is Mr. Blitzwing's birthday, and as you can see, there are a bunch of gifts and upgrades sent to us by TF Safari, but I must start with a tearful story. So, this bit over here, this is a turbine, and I think it looks really, really cool. It accentuates the super forearm, so to speak, and you can see this kind of cross-section thing over here. It fits delightfully right in there, and it's nice and tight, and it can upgrade the tank mode, the bot mode, and also the jet mode. However, you see this bit down over here, right? It is not a perfect 5mm port, or post rather, and I was trying to figure out why, and I didn't do the sanding. As you can see, one side is kind of flat, right? And I found out it's because it's a very, very tight fit. And how do I know it's a tight fit? Yeah, it snapped off. I put too much torque on it, and you're going to actually see it happen when I transform it into the jet mode and I plug it in, and oh yeah, I have a bit of a moment. But you can see it's just stuck here on his forearm, and I don't know how to get it out. I tried moving this, and I can see that there is an area in there that corresponds to the port on the other side. If I had a hand drill, I could probably drill that piece out, but I don't know, man. I'm not about to do all of that. And I'll figure out later what I'm going to do with Blitzwing. But yeah, man, it starts with a little bit of tears. But anyway, these are all the accessories. I'm going to show you how they work in bot mode first. And then I will show you the tank mode. Then I'll show you the jet mode. And that's where I begin to cry. But here, since I'm holding this, I'll show you the turbine, right? It's kind of cool. Like I just showed you a second ago, this plugs in into that cross section right there. It's perfectly carved for that, and so it might be a little loose, but you just push it in and make sure that it fully rests in there, and it's not going anywhere, Jer. So that's pretty cool, right? But just be mindful of this. It's a tight fit. You may want to sand it down in certain respects, but yeah, just be mindful. I didn't know that that much torque would kind of do that to it, but so it did. Another thing that they've done, which is rather interesting, is that this over here, and it's present on the blasters too. These 5mm posts, they are independent pieces. They are not part of the 3D structure, and you can just kind of push them through if you want to expose the full port, excuse me, over there. So I don't know, man. It's a really interesting design choice. I like it, actually. I think the tolerances could be a little bit more improved, especially on the blasters. I'll show you in a second. But oh, all right. Another fun thing that if you want to do, if you have this random kind of like piece, this is taken from, I don't know where it's from, but like for instance, the stock, the handle from the Gamer Edition Optimus, you can kind of make this into kind of like a hammer looking thing if you wanted. Honk, honk, honk. But yeah, so your toy, your joy, your imagination, but you can kind of do whatever you want. But again, it's not necessarily meant for that. I thought it was kind of cool, and I just started fidgeting with it. Oh no, no. Okay, it was in there super tight. But yeah, so you can get this, and one more time, you can fix that deep in there, and once that's in there, you can adjust this 5mm post, and you can have it go wherever you want. In bot mode, I've just been kind of putting it on his shoulder. I'll push that all the way in, and see, this is a tad bit loose. You could probably address that, but here, hey, you know what? Give me 1 second. I'm going to adjust the position of the camera so that we can get more of him in the shot. All right, that's much better. Should have done that from the beginning, but we can do that for both sides. I think it's cool. I think it does a better job when it's in probably tank mode is my favorite. And then jet mode, it was working for me until that little bit broke off. And again, we can just kind of push this through. And yeah, it is just a piece of styrene tubing that's 5mm. And you get that into his shoulder, and he has all sorts of pew-pew action. Pretty cool, huh? And of course, when he turns into the jet and the tank, you can adorn them however you see fit, however you like, making use of the various 5mm post and port connections. But yeah, that one's just a tad bit loose. But that's what that looks like, and not bad. Not bad, right? And so we'll kind of move those out of the play. Oh, that almost fell down. We'll kind of move those. And I'll show you the hand cannons. These blasters, pretty nuts, right? They are 3D printed, but look at the size of these things compared to the original one. It's super duper wild. Hold up, man. Blitzwing's getting in the shot, and he's taking the focus. Let me get him out of the way. There you go. There we go. Massive. Huge, huge. It's about like 40% bigger or something like that. And this also has that same gimmick. It has this removable 5mm post, And so you can get that out of the way, and that allows you to do some cool things like this. Very cool. Being able to add the blasters together. That has a cool effect in both tank mode and also in jet mode as well. And then we can just get that to equip in my man's hand over here. I guess I gotta pull this out just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. And then we can get that to sit nicely. That's a pretty cool look. And this side, because it's not impeded by a broken post, what you can do is, where's the other blaster? We can put this in his hand like so. And then we can get this to rest over here, which is also not a bad look, especially, like I said, if your port is free. If you find that this is just a studio, if you find that it's sitting loose in his hands, just get some like floor polish or even a piece of paper. But this is not too bad. I actually inserted it a little bit deeper, and now it's resting well. That's cool, right? I think that's very cool. You can kind of pose them up in L heroic form. Get these to be parallel. That's kind of cool. I like this, dude. Makes it look like, I don't know, man, super beefy, super bulky. This is not bad either. But here we go. Here we go, friends. Those are the new blasters, and of course you can have them over here, anywhere Jer you care. You can just kind of affix them anywhere. But those are the blasters. Let me get those out of the way. We can keep them there, but I don't want to steal the focus, steal the thunder, steal the light, if you will. Excuse me. Got some yuck mouth going on. 8 Panda Express today. Sword. S-words. Sword. So here's the new sword, and here is the old sword. Goodness gracious. Wow, dude. Massive, right? And of course, dude, I gotta fart right now, dude. I wonder if I fart, you'll hear it on my microphone. Should I just try? And then if it comes out, I'll just blur, like, I'll mute it. Let's try. Hold up. I don't know if that caught it. But I'm going to listen to it, or I'm going to forget to edit it and then just going to hear me fart. Either way. Just having fun, dude. You're like, unsub, and I'm like, wait a minute. Or that's going to make you sub either way, dude. Here we go with the giant blade. That's absolutely nuts and totally not compensating for anything. anything. You could have it resting over here. You could have it resting in his hands. You could have it, placed anywhere. But if you want, you can do this kind of fun thing. You can pop the swords off. And same thing, you can go ahead and remove this piece. It's just threaded through like the other ones. And then you can get this, and you can have that rest in there. Now, don't press it all the way in. Do as much as you can. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get this, and you're going to have it sit over here. And then from here, you can kind of turn the fist. And I wish I could actually get this to sit inside here. Oh, wait, it kind of did that. Hold up. Because what I'm trying to do is make it look like he's holding this. And that kind of worked, dude. Oh, yeah, man. I like that. Right? It looks like he's either playing a guitar or holding some type of Klingon weapon. You know what I'm talking about? That Klingon thing that looks like a crescent moon. I know somebody knows that. And you're going to be like, oh, that's called the Klingon's all crazy sounding. But that's cool. That's cool, man. I don't know if it necessarily meant to be designed like this, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's, again, your toy, your purchase, your joy. And I like how this looks. And certainly last but not least, and least but not last, we have these bits. And you're like, the what? And so these are actually, the other ones are from the BDT studio, I believe. These are from Tim Heada's or Tim Heada's, and no, he doesn't hate us. Haha. It came with 2 gap fillers. There's one right over here, right there, and you can see the corresponding one right there. And you just plug them in, and it's a super duper tight fit. Those are not coming out ever. But these bits. So what you do is you see how there's a slit over here, right? That's just gonna rest right over here. Same thing for this one, but it's asymmetric because there's actually 2 panels instead of one, but it's still going to rest in the same place, and it'll sit in there nice and snug. The color matching is pretty darn good, dude. They did a pretty good job. From far away, you probably wouldn't be able to notice, and I'm doing this without my glasses, and to me, with my bad old eyes, it looks fine. It looks fine. But okay. So now that I've shown you all of this, you're like, so what about that? Well, it actually shines in tank mode, because what happens is this will, here, let me try to show you right now. This will unfold, and it doesn't need to be removed. I will remove it when I'm doing the transformation, but it doesn't have to. And so this will unfold. This will also unfold, and it will actually provide a gap filler for this. Some of the folks have asked, do you keep the head out? Yes, you absolutely do keep the head out. And if you want to switch the plane, the jet nose cone, you can, but just know that it will protrude. It will not sit flush. I've already recorded the tank portion of this video. I don't know if I go through it. If I do, good for me. And if not, then still good for me. But yeah, it is meant. I mean, I've looked at the pictures, the manufacturer's pictures, and you know what? Some of this stuff might be kind of getting in the way right now. In tank mode, you won't see it. It's going to be flush, but it's meant to operate with the head, and it will sit flush later. Not really sure what's getting in the way right now. It might be some of this stuff. But yeah, I assure you, later on you will see it. And yeah, those are all the different upgrade kits, and you could just kind of like throw everything on them if you wanted, but I just feel like it might be kind of messy. But here's a picture. You can take a look at it right there. And without further ado, let's get him into his tank mode, and then you'll see him in his jet mode and see me break the piece and cry and moan, and there's a part that I curse, but hopefully I will cut that out and catch it. Same thing with the part that I fart, and let's get to it, Druid.
Okay, so here we have him in his tank mode, and I'm not going to lie, I'm still kind of reeling from the fact that this thing broke off, and you get to see it the moment it breaks actually in the next section, because like I mentioned, I did this stuff out of order. You're going to see me doing all this stuff, and I'm going to be like, it's not a great time. And I tried to get it out of here, but yeah, unfortunately it didn't work out. But anyway, we'll do the best that we can, and we'll start with the gap filler over here. Several of you have asked if it's possible to have the jet nose out. It is, but it does protrude a little bit more, and this is not designed very specifically for the head, and so it's not going to sit as right. But if you wanted to, by all means, you can do that. It's your toy, your joy, right? And you don't necessarily need to remove these during the transformation, but I just wanted to show you how everything works. Then we're going to get this, and they just slip on, like I showed you earlier, just using this little groove over here and that little tab piece. And then you just pop that on, and just really, really great job again, you know, just on the color pairing and stuff. That's pretty close, man. That is pretty close. And these are on hinges. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring this down. Watch, this breaks on me. You're going to bring this down, and then you're going to make sure that this slots into that section. And if you want it, you know what? I could technically even just do it ahead of time, and then I'd be able to slide this all in at once like that. Yeah. Cool, huh? And so you can see how the head just kind of sits in there. Again, you can use the nose cone of the jet. It's just not going to be as flush. I think that's a really good look, man. The color is near perfect. They did a pretty good job, and no, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Kind of give it a squeeze and push. And then, of course, the gap filler is already on the inside of the shoulder bits. They don't protrude out. They don't like brush up against anything. It's just that he has tank face on the bottom. but we can live with that. But man, it's still hurting me. Hurting me, brother. The fact that that thing snapped off, because now we can't get him into the look that I wanted. And that look was, I wanted the turbine bits to act as the rear oomph, the boom, boom, boom. And then I wanted to use the blasters and have them adorned right over here. That's what I wanted. Now I can't. Now I can't. And so, yeah, I can have them up here, but it's just, in my opinion, it's just not as pleasing of a look. I can also mount them up here, I suppose, using that post. And that's okay, I guess. But the desired look that I really wanted was, I wanted it to be like that. But having it up here is actually not horrible either. It's not bad. It's not a bad look at all, actually. It's kind of growing on me. Interesting. And then these, you could have that, like, so actually, hold up. How did we have it earlier? It was like that, I think, to make the halberd. And that can kind of sit atop here, but it will kind of sit high. And so you have to be okay with that. That's kind of cool, but it does, again, it just does sit, it does sit a little bit high. And so if you wanted, you can either just go with the single mode, and then we can have that adorned like so. That's pretty gnarly. And with our remaining port on the side, we could perhaps have that adorned there. And that's not that bad. That's not horrible. Oh, but man, what am I going to do about this? I know what I'm going to do about this. Watch at the end of the video and you'll see. And I'm not going to say it. I'm going to have it written in text. But yeah, watch at the end of the video. Huh. Anyway, let's get him into his jet mode and we can wrap up the video. Cool. So now we can see how everything works in jet mode. You can see the gap fillers, the panel coverings are still over here. Not a big issue in my opinion. It would be nice if it stayed up a little bit better, but it just kind of hangs down and whatever, dude. But if you want it, you could just pull them off, right? It doesn't really matter. But the fact is you can keep them on. And the next bit, why don't we layer on the blasters? And I've kept them in the dual blaster configuration because I kind of like this. And what I did was, I think I did this. Yeah. And I did that for both sides, but I mean, it's completely up to you. You can adorn it however you see fit, right? And now when you look at this, it reminds me of this old game called Galaga. I mentioned it in the shorts as well, but it's this kind of like triangle Dorito-shaped airplane, this jet, this spaceship, with these kind of pew-pews attached to the end. And yeah, it really, really resembles Galaga, minus the colors and stuff. And then here we have the turbines, the vents. And so what we're going to do with that is we're going to pop that in there, and we're going to get the wing to sit over this. I originally thought that that tab was supposed to sit in here, and I was like, oh, but no, it doesn't do that. And so what's going to happen is the wing bit is actually going to sit inside the super forearm, and that's going to go on like that. If you don't want this here, you could have it, you know, you can remove it, you could put it anywhere else, but for the time being, let's just kind of keep it there like that. Just kind of makes it look like extra thrusters, oomph, oomph. But if you want it, you could remove it and you could add blast effects, however you see fit. Your toy, your joy, right? And so for here, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to plop that in. Oh, I broke it. That's not great. That's not great. Okay. All right. I was putting a little too much torque on it, and that's not great. Oh man, I tried to fish it out and I tried to see if I could fix it, but I couldn't, dude. I don't have anything small enough to kind of get in there, and it's super blurry right now. There we go. Sorry for that cutaway. I was trying to see if I could fish this out, but I can't. But it is a clean break, and I just don't have anything small enough to get in there, because if I was able to fish it out, I think I could glue it, because you see that? You can see how smooth it is. But, oh, that's really unfortunate, man, because it's kind of held up to my manhandling, so to speak. And, oh, it's very disappointing that it just, I guess it's my fault for a little bit. I kind of put it in here, it was stuck, and I started twisting it, and I felt a little bit, but I forced it. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. Partially it's on me, but partially it's on this thing too. The quality probably needs to be a little bit denser and stuff, but it's too bad, man, because this looks really nice, you know? I mean, it's not the end of the world because you still have these pieces over here. So those are 5mm, and I could probably adorn this somewhere else, but this look is effectively donezo. That's too bad, man. That's really, really too bad. Because what I was doing was I was adorning the what is it? The super forearms with these bits and having it become like even more Galaga, because Galaga is kind of like this triangle jet with little spears on the side. And this basically would have done effectively the same thing over here, except it would have been much longer. But, oh well, that's too bad. Oh, I'm a sad camper. All right, man. Well, I guess that concludes the video. I was going to do a little bit more, but that's kind of it. I'm sorry, Blitzwing. These were your birthday gifts, and my bad for manhandling it and breaking it. But anyway, if this is your jam and you're still interested, despite what you saw over here, and still interested in picking these things up, check out tfsafari.com. Utilize the codes in the top right corner of your screen. You know I'm always going to be truthful to you and bring it to you raw. And unfortunately, it is what it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It broke on me. Anyway, I'll talk to you all soon, okay? Life goes on, my friends. Bye-bye. But wait, there's more. All is not lost, my friends. I decided to utilize the posts and the ports underneath to connect it like this. And so you could still do something, even though those bits broke off, and it is disappointing. But again, not the end of the world. Still having fun. But yeah, I did want to show you that it is redeemable if you wanted to keep messing with it. Okay, now I'll talk to you later, okay? Adios, broskies.